I'm Nicholas Ballasy here at CPAC 2017 with Joe the Plumber. I know you all remember Joe from the 2008 campaign between Barack Obama and John McCain. So what's going on with your small business, your work right now? How's your economic picture compared to 2008 looking at now?
Well, moving forward, I think it's going to get much better. You know, when we start producing more here in the country of America, through Donald Trump's, through President Donald Trump and what he's trying to accomplish with, bringing manufacturing back to the country, it's going to improve a lot of people's lot in life. Me personally, since 2008, I've really focused on states' rights and Second Amendment issues. And so, I go on Fox and I go on a lot of different places, but I talk mostly about those things because that's really where the power is supposed to be, was when the states. The federal government's got, essentially, to me, 3 jobs. And I think President Trump's going to be able to do that. 1, create a good environment for business. 2, secure American borders. And 3, make our military strong. As long as he does those 3 things, I'll see it as a win. All the social issues and everything else gets pushed back to the state level because there's no reason a centralized federal government should be passing laws for the rest of the land. That's where the states come in. And so that's one of the things I really promote and talk about in a great length. And then the Second Amendment, I'm more passionate about that than just about anything except for my wife and kids.
Now, is there an issue in particular that's number 1 on your radar where you'd like to see the federal government step aside and just leave it to the states, and a particular issue you're concerned about?
There's a couple. One would be EPA. I think the states can run that themselves. There's so many Aaron Brockoviches running around these days that big business isn't going to get away with a whole lot of anything. And so I don't really think we need EPA looking for things to keep themselves relevant. And I think that would save a lot of Americans money and a lot of American jobs out there. Because, really, they're just looking for things to screw us with these days. And a lot of it makes no sense, especially when it comes to the working man. There's a new law out there, not a new law, but a law coming into effect on small businesses here. It's really going to hurt us as a silica law, to where if you're masonry and you're drilling through a concrete wall, that puff of smoke coming out that's just fine sand, well, they're making it illegal now for small businessmen to be able to do that, and they haven't produced any kind of machineries to help keep that silica down, and that's going to hurt a lot of small business. They're going to get fined, and that money's just going to go into the coffers of OSHA, if you will, and it serves no real purpose. So there's a lot of things out there. We could sit here all day and talk about the different things that the federal government needs to keep their nose out of.
Now, how about Obamacare? We've heard President Trump say it needs to be repealed, but there hasn't been a replacement put forward yet. What do you think about the timeline for that? Would you like to see it done within the year? Are you frustrated that it hasn't been done yet? What's your take on it?
Well, no, I'm not frustrated that it hasn't done yet. There's a lot of things to unscrew up via President Barack Obama. So as far as now, he did take away the penalty, which is a good thing. So a lot of people aren't going to be paying a penalty for not having health care, which I think is great. And Trump took care of that just, a month ago. Within the first week or 2 of his presidency. So I was really happy to see that. That helps a lot of people out. But ultimately, no, I think it's going to take a lot of time to bring something together that's going to work for most people. You're still going to have a minority out there that's going to hate it. They're going to cry and scream and moan and groan and find a safe place. But for the most part, I'm in agreement with President Donald Trump. You got to let the private market actually handle this. This is where, as far as letting insurances go across state lines only makes sense. You hinder competition by keeping these people in just one place. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to come about of it that's ultimately going to work for the benefit of most Americans.
Are you concerned at all about the Republican message on Obamacare? Because we see at these town halls, some members of Congress are getting asked a lot of questions like, hey, what are you going to do about it? Am I going to lose my coverage? You need a replacement. Don't just repeal it and walk away. Are you concerned that the Republican message on Obamacare is not getting through in general to the electorate at this time?
I'm concerned there's a lot of paid protesters out there at some of these town halls creating problems and issues that aren't really interested in an answer or a solution. They're just interested in creating chaos, and they're good at it. So I believe there's more of that. Now, as far as some of the conservatives that have real issues with it, I think it just comes down to patience. You don't turn the Titanic on a dime. And you got America, and you're talking about replacing an entire healthcare system that never really should have came about in the first place. That should have always went to the private market. But now you're dancing around with socialized medicine. It's very scary because it's a slope you don't really want to get on. So I'm interested in seeing what their solution is going to be. But me, I like the private market. I like everything. I like the competition. That's what I want to get back to. And unfortunately, listen, the world's not fair. You got some people that's going to have, some people that don't have. You have to work hard to make things happen, and the rest of them, it's the world's not a very nice place sometimes, and people have to take that in consideration. And it's not the federal government job to make everything fair and make it a nice place. They provide an atmosphere, and they give you opportunity. It's yours to seize or it's yours to lose. End of story.
Thank you so much, Joe. Great to see you again.
Hey, thanks, brother.